to Boston, lives in a world she's lost in, victim of compromise. He's staring at her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's whistling the catacombs, a paradox. He's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let him taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot. Wasted moments, full of potential atonement, an angel in disguise. But he can see her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a whistle in the catacombs, a paradox. Oh, he's in love.
Dire team
with
back.
the statue in a marble block.
Radiant team back. 10 seconds remaining.
That's louder than I thought it would be. All right,
Dire
everyone.
team back.
Hello and welcome to the Blood in the Streets Dota 2 Championship. I am the Source. Joining me today is going to be M Target. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. A little bit
10
of
seconds
a last-minute thing, and currently trying not to sweat my brains out because, well, we don't have air conditioning in Maine, and
Dire
it's
team pick.
well too hot here. But hey, I'm ready for Dota.
Awesome. So while I make some minor sound adjustments, we are getting into the draft, so I'll transition us over to that. Thank you guys for joining
10
us. This is
seconds
Blood in the
remaining.
Streets, brought to you guys by firstblood.io and
5
Antlion
seconds
Audio. And bam, we are into the draft. So today we've got Anji versus M19. Why don't you give us a little bit of background on these teams, some of the players involved, who you really think the keys to the series are going to be to let either of these teams go further in our tournament?
Anji, if you've been following sort of this tier 2 Dota, as it were, No Fear, Sadoy, Yoki are all super common names, and when those guys can really hit their timings and hit their necessities, they can definitely carry their team through with the best of them. We've seen them do very well against several sort of quote struggling tier 1 teams, although we have seen them compete even with some just straight up tier 1 talent at times as well. M19 on the other hand, team that I personally don't know too much about. I recognize Funnick, but I thought that he had retired, so I'm a little bit confused by him showing up here. So I'm going to do a quick bit of research. Thank goodness for multiple monitors. And while this is going on, Night Stalker getting picked up is definitely a hero that Anji really enjoyed playing before his most recent round of buffs. So all the more reason to just keep picking him up now.
10 seconds remaining.
So let's see. It appears that Funnick did not actually retire like I thought he did. So and yes, this is indeed the Funnick that played
Reserve
on
time.
Navi during their pretty powerful stretch as well. So there is a bit of star power on that team.
All right, so we got to see M19 through the qualifiers. They were able to come out 2-1 over EPG, so they did decide to pick this matchup. Why do you think they would decide to pick Anji over playing up against ProDota? Where did yes, ProDota is a great team, but still, like, stylistically, do you think there's a bit of difference there, or was it just that they feel they can beat Anji?
I think that there's definitely both factors, but I think that stylistically speaking,
5 seconds remaining.
excuse me, stylistically speaking, ProDota is trying to think of the nuances between Anji and ProDota, because on the one hand, ProDota's got just a similar sort of carry potential, but on the other hand, ProDota's got more threats in a lot of ways. Anji has 1 to 2 really sort of hard set in stone draft options and everything else, and sort of go from there. And they go for this, as we're seeing right here, very gank heavy route with Night Stalker, Bat Rider. You're going to throw one of those in the jungle / support, probably the Night Stalker, Bat Rider offlane, obviously. And then you're going to see a very hard 5-position support, followed up by then, your 2 super carries that you're going to try and just sort of feed into. With that said, we see a push strat possibly coming out from M19 with the Lycan. Obviously, there are other ways that you can run Lycan as well. But for me, first picking Lycan suggests at least a little bit of a push strat. Sand King, excuse me, he's just a super flexible hero. We're seeing him being played in 4 or 3 position, either offlane or support. So I look forward to seeing how that plays out. But again, Sand King, a little bit flexible, so I look forward to seeing how he gets played by M19 and where they put him. But again, a lot open right now. Seeing a lot of supports getting banned out by both teams, although there's that Lone Druid ban at the beginning. As I mentioned, that funneling farm, Lone Druid is a character that loves to gobble that up. DK getting banned out is definitely popular in Anji's pool in mid for, again, that sort of funnel fight. Because he does well in the mid game, you funnel a little bit of farm to him, then he snowballs off, while into the mid and late game, you get your position 1 farm ready to roll. So waiting on now this third pick here for M19, and gonna see what it's going to be.
Yeah. So what do you think of the heavy prioritization of Night Stalker after the buffs?
It just, as far as Anji is concerned, it just makes sense. It fits their play style. It fits the way that it fits, again, that fighting, ganking mentality. And quite frankly, I think that Night Stalker is a great hero for that first blood potential. Again, firstblood.io. Might as well throw that little plug in there.
We'll be doing that the whole tournament, everybody. Get used to it.
get used to the first blood. Not quite puns, but you get that. Ancient Apparition here. A little bit of pseudo global pressure here with his ultimate. I say pseudo because obviously it's not like he's ulting and like it's a silencer ult or it's a stampede or something, but he can throw that across the entire map. So global. Dazzle here. There's that, as I mentioned before, that hard 5 from Anji. It's really straightforward. Dazzle doesn't need a whole lot in terms of items, and he can save teammates, and the anti-armor synergy is huge, especially against Lycan, who has some pretty high armor numbers. And so expect to see them go for Luna, Sven, TA, PA. They will occasionally go Spectre, but that's like sort of a not quite as popular pick for them. So
yeah, it seems... sorry, lost my train of thought. Anji kind of hasn't really shown what they're up to yet. So far, they've shown early bit of skirmishing, that first nighttime for the Night Stalker plus the lasso off of Bat Rider, that, kind of early combo to set things going. Beyond that, it doesn't seem like they've really revealed all that much. Where do you think they go with their strategy? Do they go into a little bit more of a hyper carry core, or do they kind of play this early game, get things rolling?
I think that you go for mid-game carries. Okay, okay. And Anji just not wasting any time at all. Probably just because they don't want to give M19 any time to think, because M19 is almost out of reserve time. So Earthshaker, I personally just don't know where he fits in the meta right now. So I'm not saying he's bad. I just, we don't see a whole lot of him. So he's obviously at least just outside of, if not further outside of that top tier pick. But if somebody really likes playing him, then go for it. Terrorblade, again, Terrorblade can fight in the mid game, but he is just a late game powerhouse. Does great with the anti-armor oomph from Dazzle, the Weave. Obviously, Shallow Grave is great. Poison Touch is useful for helping him catch characters early on. And that Metamorphosis gives you a little bit of oomph in that regard as well. So now, though, we do see Anji starting to burn reserve time here. Queen of Pain banned out, trying to reduce their mid pool a bit. And we see Lena getting banned here.
Dire team pick.
I actually don't know if I would have picked Lena if I was M19. Again, last pick, though, this is maybe Anji wants to pick somebody that's not great against Lena. I'm trying to remember what they normally play mid.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, I'd say there's still a fair number of options.
Oh, definitely. You've got. I think I've seen them play Sniper, Sniper TA, OD. OD's a little bit later game than I think they might like, but he's not awful. I'm trying to think what other options are super good. Like there's plenty of what's acceptable picks. I just don't know what they would want to run. With the Bat Rider and the Night Stalker gives them catch. Terrorblade doesn't have any other hard CC. Dazzle doesn't have any hard CC, so maybe one more hard CC character would be good here. Or a mid laner that has some hard CC potential, excuse me. Although at the same time, maybe you look for somebody that's got a little bit of self-preservation and escape, so that way you can babysit Terrorblade a little bit more if you have to.
I'm always a fan of Storm Spirit mid. I don't really think it fits here, but
it does not fit. But he's I mean, I can understand why you like seeing him. So really burning that draft pick time though.
Radiant team pick.
I had mentioned a bit of a 4 Protect 1. I did not think it was going to be that 4 Protect or that much of a 4 Protect 1. With the Magnus, but I do remember Pikachu playing him, and we've seen Magnus do well. And then Weaver getting snap picked for M19, so they obviously have a relatively preset draft here. And I like it because you've got a relatively smooth power curve the entire way through.
So which of these drafts do you favor right now? Is it more the M19 kind of clear control, or Anji with?
I think I like M19. It's just a little bit more synergy. You've got some nice little bits of CC throughout. Once Weaver gets his Lincolns online, or actually I think that the hero was technically a her. So once Weaver gets her Lincolns online, they'll be good there. But you've got several timings that Anji can hit that'll just completely swing the game. Although Lycan does have some nighttime effects that get procced in Night Stalker's Darkness, even when Night Stalker's on the other team, so that's always fun. But we're going into game here. Though before we do, the most important part of any Dota game right now is that battle level tower measuring contest. Because, I mean, who doesn't like to see who spent more money on Dota?
I mean, I like this as a new way to kind of mark out who's been throwing down money.
Yeah.
Buying the
certainly
skins.
Fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are into game. I will let you take it away, good sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So welcome to this. I actually don't know what round name this is, but FirstBlood.io's inaugural Blood in the Streets Dota 2 Championship, supported by our partners over at Antlion Audio. My name is M Target, and I am alone for now. Hopefully, Drag and Drop will join me for game 2, although I may have to leave him. Because, well, that's just the kind of day that it is. With that said, though, we do see M19, Misha, getting a little bit aggressive here with his warding, although it will be... Yep, they will find his block, and that is a free 100 gold for no fear, but they at least get to see... Actually, he's going to Sadoy, so they're going to channel that a little bit into their Terrorblades farm. So, again... Anji on the Dire, M19 on the Radiant, M19. We have Misha on the, excuse me, on the Sand King, ILTW on the Lycan, Nyx on the, oh, that's going to mess me up. Nyx on the Weaver, Muriel on the AA, and Funnick on the Shaker. Gonna wait and see where they go over on Anji, though. We do see a bit of a potential invade here with No Fear and Chuvesh on the... Ooh, that fissure almost hit, but it does get No Fear stuck here, and he could be in a bit of trouble here. And let's see what happens. Is he going to get touch? He is going to be... Yep, they're going to hit him here, and this could be our first blood. Is he going to steal the bounty rune at least? So he does get that 100 gold. Is going to try and get out, and he looks... Oh, no, he's going to see Misha, and there's the fissure again from Funnick. Funnick's going to be hitting him. He buys that TP scroll because that's all he can afford, and he is going to get away. Can he get into the trees? Maybe heal up. He is going to get away, but the minion aggro is there. Those creeps are going to follow him in, and he is in some trouble, though he is going to at least waste a little bit more of Misha's time. But Misha will gladly take it for a first blood. And there we go. First blood going to M19. Misha, there we go. That first blood.io right there. So props to M19 for getting just a clean reaction to good aggression. And I seriously am actually kind of impressed by Funnick's thinking of, they're probably going to go for the invade, block it, try and lock somebody in, and force him to go for the gutsy play. Mid lane, we do have that Magnus Lycan matchup, which is, I have expected to see Weaver mid, but Lycan mid obviously working so far, so we'll see how this works out. And also Magnus not quite as difficult of a matchup as Lycan can have, especially since it is melee versus melee. So just going to see how that's going over. Bottom lane, we have an aggressive tri-lane here with Muriel, Misha, and Nyx. Looking at No Fear, he's just going to walk away, say, I don't think so. I'm sorry. I did not mean to steal anything in your jungle. That's a total lie, of course. And Yoki, again, Bat Rider just trying to get levels early. Later on, we'll see him actually try and do something with that. And maybe we will see something here with this 4-position Sand King. They're paying him. Excuse me, they know he's there. But no, he's just going to back off instead. And Funnick doing a little bit of pulling, just guaranteeing himself some farm as well. Apologies, just trying to make sure that I don't miss any other action, because these two teams are drafted for a bit of aggression early before we settle in for the long haul here. So go ahead and look at last hits and denies. Look, things looking really good for Anji right now. They hold 2 of the top 3, and then in terms of last hits, 14 and 12 for the Magnus and Terrorblade, respectively, followed by a Lycan sitting at just now cracking the double-digit mark.
Magic.
So going to see what's...
I'll take your
nope.
tribute.
Bottom lane. Apologies, just trying to see what's going on with... Oh, there we go, mid lane. We might actually see a little bit here. LTW taking some poke, but oh no, he's actually going to get skewered right there, and he is now in some trouble. He is going to pop that Howl, which is going to give him a little bit of extra health, which is... obviously, the damage is nice for when you're farming, but when you're trying to escape, you don't care about those clicks. He does have a salve, though, so he'll be right up. Already has that bottle and a raindrop in queue, so because he knows he's going to need that for those shockwave and skewer damage numbers. Looking at the bottom lane, where we're seeing a lot of pings, No Fear and Yoki not wanting to let the supports get too much pull off or too much free experience for that matter. Yoki gonna throw in some of those sticky napalm charges, but is he going to get much out of it? Looks like the answer there is no. But again, just a little bit of pressure is all that you need. Of course, at the same time, love, I'm assuming here, you know, obviously you always want to, if you're the offlaner, you want to try and pressure the safe lane at least a little bit. You know, that makes a much better run through, but you don't want to sacrifice yourself too much here. Again, we're sitting at 1-0 in favor of M19, so you don't want to get too aggressive here as Anji and throw away anything else, as Yoki is now sitting at only 50 mana, so sitting kind of low, though that magic wand with 6 charges is looking not too shabby. But Misha feeling a little bit good about himself right here. He is going to get voided up here by No Fear. Yoki going to keep chipping away at him. 400 health with that Tango regen is great. Oh, there we go. He is going for the solution room. Can he deny it? He will manage to get that and body block out, though he is silenced and will be good to go. Again, everybody is looking at wards, etc. Pikachu definitely winning this lane now, sitting at the highest last hits in the game at 33. It's only, you know, an 8 last hit difference, but Magnus getting that early gold is huge. Obviously, he really only needs a Blink Dagger to function. Once he can do that, the sooner he can get that, the better. And there is a ping for some sort of wraparound here from M19. Would not be surprised to see them try and bait something to get LTW back ahead. Top lane, we've been ignoring it. That's because it's a an offlaner versus just, a relatively safe lane here. Sodoy just wants to farm. That's all that any Terrorblade player wants to do, quite frankly. Obviously, kills are nice, but you're looking to just try and get those last hits, get those items online. Oh, there's a Howl. Mid lane was a bit of an attempted gank, and looks like that will be, unfortunately, that. Nothing too insane right now. Bottom lane, though, Yoki in a bit of trouble. We see those Geminade attack, those little, swarm, not the Geminade attack, it's a right click. Did get some damage off, but Yoki has a salve, had a magic wand that he had to pop, but hey, he heals back up and he is doing fine now. So again, though, 3 versus 1. Oh, LTW he hit 6 and he just went shapeshift, and they are going for Yoki. And Yoki manages to he creates enough of a burn line there that they cannot risk it, even though he's only at 20 HP. Oh, top lane, though, there was that dive that we just missed, and Sodoy manages to get that kill. Like we were talking about before, obviously any position 1 will take any kill they can get. That's going to be their first metamorphosis used of the game, and he will be very, very happy with that, bringing it out of 1-1. However, he could be in a bit of trouble still under tower here as Funnick comes in, but Funnick knows that No Fear is in the area and he needs to be careful. Middle lane, Pikachu and ILTW slapping each other. Nothing too crazy. And so that is, I think, just going to be a bit of a farm fest. And it looks like we're going to see a bit of a reset now as everybody goes back to farming. Just in general, last hits are definitely in favor of, are in favor of Anji. As we can see as well, 2,000 net worth advantage. Though there is that good chunk of the M19 boys in the middle with last hits. But again, 1-1, fairly even game right now. Gotta wait and see how things go. We are in that first nighttime, and No Fear has not really been able to get much out of it. He has that 1 point in Hunter in the night, so when he uses it at nighttime, he can fly over trees and such, but hasn't really found much to be able to use with it. Still only level 3, so not a whole lot of oomph with that. And they do know that there is a ward there. Both teams, I believe, actually have noticed that now. So expect to see some sentries coming out soon to the mid lane. So, let's see, nothing. And back to just the farming thing. Let's see what direction is our Terrorblade going. He's finishes Trez, finishes Aquila. It's a pretty good, it's a pretty good timing for that. I'm not quite sure what direction he's going to go yet. Oh, yes, of course. He does also have that wonderful, wonderful synergy with the Magnus of having Empower, so he gets a free mini Battle Fury and he can farm these camps super quickly, which is going to give Chuvash some free time up top to get some levels and last hits. As a Dazzle, hey, again, free farm, I'll take it. Oh, I just missed a kill. I am so sorry. Nyx does manage to take down No Fear, though. And we will see another kill going the way of M19 Mario, though, in a bit of trouble. Possibly he's getting pinged at. Pikachu going to empower himself, going to come in here, look for a skewer. Even though he's level 9, he has not put anything in reverse polarity, so all they can hope for is just a straightforward kill, which is exactly what happened there. So Pikachu getting that. Feeling pretty good. Trade, not the best, but hey, it's better than nothing. And now we might see something mid, as there is a touch of pressure, though nothing too crazy from M19. Have 3 minutes until nighttime, so No Fear's got a decent amount of time to try and get something rolling here. He is looking on getting that urn completed. Got a Tome of Knowledge, so he can maybe try and hit 6 again as soon as possible. Sodoy's Terrorblade is just cranking right along, sitting on 1,000 gold. I would not be surprised to see him go for a Yasha here shortly. And go from there. Nothing on the courier for him. Chuvash sitting on, again, raindrops everywhere. Chuvash working on a magic wand as well. Has his stick, and that's about it. see. LTW has his medallion, so he's going probably for a Solar Crest rush, which has been surprisingly popular. It, again, makes a lot of sense. It lets you tank up a little bit, and then provides the great D-armor, anti-armor, which is great synergy with just Lycan in general. Again, this is where that lineup would have been great with a Dazzle, but they thought they could maybe grab it later. Didn't. So that's fine. A bit of a grouping up here in the top side jungle, and the dire side. Pikachu and Sidoi both farming that. So, oh. Did I just hear an Echo Slam? I did. So, Flenick is Echo Slamming creeps. So, and I was just going to TP out and be fine.
I'll take your tribute.
Again, I think this is where we're going to see the slowest part of the game. Although, again, I think each team looking to try and maybe make a play, but neither team having quite the advantage. Again, with 1,600 gold net worth in favor of Anji. So that's not a whole lot, but definitely. So M19 certainly feeling comfortable with trying to fight into it, maybe. And anything else, although we do see this second metamorphosis, I do believe, of the match being popped here by Terrorblade, looking to try and get something in on this tier 1 tower top. But we do see TPs coming in. Misha is 6, but has opted for a triple sandstorm, triple burrow strike, so no epicenter right now. While this was going on, though, very significant chip damage bottom lane. This tower is at 125, which means that Yoki could... Nope, no deny. First tower going to go the way of the Radiant. Nyx tried to find the last hit, but didn't quite get it. Also, speaking of Nyx, he does have that Perseverance, so going for that Linken's Rush, which I really do like for the Weaver. Over back top lane, where that tower is still being defended by M19, we do see a grouping of 2 lone defenders versus this 3-man pressure squad. Although Sidoi's metamorphosis is over, so expect to see him just go back to some farming for now. LTW, interestingly enough, not actually going for some pressure. I wondered if maybe he was going to sort of go up with his teammates, sort of like that. But instead, he just comes back around the side and goes for some farm and some push here. So, got a grouping here at the... Oh, here we go. First dust of the game, or smoke of the game, not dust, excuse me. Sidoi immediately breaks it because he says, oh, I see farm. I'm just going to go do that instead. Classic Terrorblade player. What you going to do? Maybe mid's where they want to go? Or nope, they're going to wrap bottom lane and see if they can catch anything. Do they see Nyx, though? Their smoke does not quite break just outside of range. There's the ping, though. They think they do see him. But nothing just yet. There's the line from Nyx saying, let's go up this way and maybe try and catch Sidoi, which will break Pikachu now. He sees Nyx, so they know what's going on there. Chuva's just going to go in and steal things, and Anji is resetting for some more farm / D-push, as they are currently down 1. Again, tier 1 tower, but it is also, of course, though, the opposite tower from Roche, so not the worst tier 1 to lose. That said, let's see what happens here. Oh, Pikachu manages to skewer away as he gets stunned, so he'll be fine. And we do see let's weave. Nothing just yet. We're going to see some more pressure from M19. Again, we talked about that pushing power of the Lycan, etc. And I find it interesting, though, that they are all members of Anji are farming in this very small space right here. All right, I do not know why my mouse drew like that. But they're farming right next to where all of M19 is pushing instead of starting to defend. Though, as I say that, they do come over and do exactly that. We do see that shapeshift come out. ILTW looking to go in, but we are going to see the grab actually going in onto Sand King. He's going to get lassoed in. He is going to die nice and quickly. We are going to see that time lapse come out, and the Weaver will be fine. That is a successful defense, and I think that really Anji will be happy with that, as is the creep equilibrium is also definitely in their favor bottom lane, keeping that tier 2 tower safe, and they're close enough to their mid tier 1 that they can keep that rolling just fine. So maybe even see some pressure onto this tier 1 mid that is just outside of deny range, and here we go. And they're actually Pikachu gonna push in here, and Pikachu gonna hit that killing spree with another kill on to the Ancient Apparition. Speaking of, we haven't actually talked about him much this game. He is very, very poor right now, sitting on brown boots, a teleport scroll, and a wand. So Not sure if he's going to go for the Midas or if he's just going to go full poor support and just not really even be able to get that going for him. Anji, again, we talked about a little bit of early game pressure with the Night Stalker Magnus, but then it's that mid game once you start getting lassos rolling where Bat Rider can really start cooking. And then obviously they have this terrifying Terrorblade late. Going to be a question of how Lycan plays this and how Weaver plays this particularly. So Weaver again still sitting on that Perseverance, working towards that ultimate orb and then recipe for Lincoln Sphere. So he's a good 2,500 gold off of that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You're gonna see a bit of that equilibrium cooking for M19. Arrow, or that line from Muriel suggesting there's probably somebody in that area, even though they do have some vision elsewhere. Maybe even a suggestion that they want to farm or go up there and push. So Muriel is 7, so he does have that Ice Blast available, so always fun to see how that goes. We do see Misha kind of pushing out
Radiant's
solo up
bottom
here.
tower is under attack.
Easy enough to work there. Oh, there we go. We do see. Oh, there we go. We're going to see a drop in as well from that AA ultimate just to kind of remind them that, hey, we see you. But this tower is definitely gone. Sadoi's used his metamorphosis. He says, no, this tower is dead. And they're going to push in this bottom tier 1. But they will probably be trading their top tier 1, so they need to get aggressive here. At the same time that I say that the Yoki may be in a bit of trouble, he has gone the drums build, and he does have enough for the Blink Dagger, just has not bought it yet. My assumption is he was hoping to buy it at the side shop. So he will make it out alive.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is
actually,
under
okay, we're going to see a
attack.
tier 2 going here. Darkness
Radiant's
is popped by
structures are fortified.
M19. Or excuse me, no, that's
Dire's
by Anji.
structures are fortified.
By No Fear. No Fear. Oh, Funix is going to teleport right into him. He's going to get silenced, but there's the Burrow Strike. Oh, beautiful RP right there. And that is going to... Oh, no. Misha will manage to escape from the skewer, but that is all. He will end up falling. Lycan in a bit of trouble. Actually going to come back in here, try and get something done with it. Shuvash is going to brave himself because, hey, he doesn't want to die. And ILTW in a bit of trouble. Pikachu going to dive past the tower, though, taking down Muriel, and the tier 2 tower is gone. So that is a 1 and 2 for a tier 1, and they are about to take down one more. ILTW in some trouble. And will he fall? Oh, skewers him away from his teammates, but hey, he's still slow. He's still getting damaged, and he will fall. 300 gold for that last kill. And that, I believe, is the fight. Yep, there we go. Fight recap. 1,400 gold in favor of Anji. 600 gold lost. 8,000 damage to 1,700. They just did a very good job of coordinating and focusing the damage down and killed 4 heroes.
Radiant's middle tower
However,
is under attack.
broke AA maybe. But with all that said, yes, they got one lane down. They got a great, you know, this. You've got racks that are exposed here. So that's great for you. But that's sort of all that they got off of that fight, other than, you know, 9,000 gold lead. So expect to see, yep, here's the M19 smoke squad. They're going to look to try to find something. There is their scan, not finding anything there, but they think that there might be somebody farming. Again, between the Empower and just Firefly, there's plenty of ways to flash farm the jungle of the Dire. So expect to see Anji doing something like that. This is a little bit risky. M19 trying to wrap around this tier 1 mid. And oh, nope, they're going in. Here we go on Sadoi. Just going to see everything right there. Echo Slam and the Epicenter. But there's that grave. And Sadoi is going to say, thank you. I'm just going to sunder you now and eat all of your health. And now the counter engagement is on. And there we go. Yoki going to blow up Misha. And Muriel is probably just telling his teammates, go. I'm dead. I've accepted it. Oh, actually, Phonics says, no. I'm not going to let my teammate die. I'm going to drop that fissure, and then says, actually, never mind. I'm just going to leave you. Bye, buddy. I'm sorry. I love you. Maybe not. I don't know. But that's what I would be saying if I was Phonic. I'm out. Sorry. And now, for huge defense, and Fissure's cute, but that's really all that's going to be, as Sadoi, Pikachu, and Shuvash have enough anti-armor and enough damage to work on this. Yoki and No Fear playing the zoning game. I like it. And Pop in the Darkness at the end, meaning that they want to keep going here. They've got a wave right up by here. Oh, there's the silence. There's the RP. That's some gratuitous violence for you folks, as they push him right into Sadoi, and Sadoi just gobbles that right up, eating that Earthshaker. And I don't know what at this point M19 can do to get back into it. They've got Blink Daggers online. They can get a good initiation. They also can get some decent rat off maybe if you want to go for that rat Dota. But Lycan sitting at 19 minutes, doesn't have that armlet done. He's close, but doesn't have that, you know, first fighting tool online as he did go for that Solar Crest first. And they do manage to hold the tier 3, so their shrines are still safe for now. But for now may be all that they have. Again, I mentioned before, this 4 Protect 1, you've got 4 players that can keep you going in the mid game, and then you just ramp it up in the late and just go to town. And that's exactly what Terrorblade's looking to do in these fights. You know, the Dazzle, excuse me, pick is doing wonders for if you can't CC the Dazzle. Well, actually, quite frankly, if you CC the Dazzle, then whoop, Dazzle's dead. That's it. If you CC somebody else, then Dazzle just graves them, and congratulations, that's it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's just take a look at what just got picked up. Terrorblade was so rich. He is so fat and so farmed that he's looking at the menu going, you know, I like the appetizer that most people would consider an entree of that, you know, the Manta style. But I'm feeling really hungry today. Give me that full, like, porterhouse steak. Just give me that Ayascati at 20 minutes into the game. What are you doing, man? We're going to see the dust coming out here. And Sand King silence up. There we go. The lasso on to 1. Onto Earthshaker. Oh, but that Echo Slam actually gets some good damage off. But again, there's that... oh my goodness, that Shallow Grave did do some work, but Funnick, that Ayascati from Sadoy did work, but this was huge. 3 kills for M19, but it was not going to be enough as Sadoy is still alive and slaughtering everyone. He may be in a bit of trouble, but he does still have Sunder available. And we do see Nyx has that Lincoln, so he knows that he cannot just Sunder him. And that is going to be a crazy fight that at first I thought, okay, maybe there you go, but then people kept dying on M19. So 15,000 gold now in favor of Anji. 3 to 4 kills, but look at the damage, you know, 10k to 8k, and that's just, they're so squishy right now. And I expect to see a push mid now as just the Illusion army from Sadoy is just marching down mid with his creep. Mayhaps we will see the first tower fall. Will the high grounds be broken at a whopping 22 minutes into the game because Anji accelerated, they put their foot on the gas and just did not stop. Blink Skewer from Pikachu does miss. Apologies, was kind of great here. Oh, stun on to Sadoy, but Sadoy just doesn't care. So Nyx on Weaver trying to find something. Again, he's not doing awfully. He's got his Diffusal Blade working on it. He's got his Lincolns though, which is the big thing. So if you can keep her alive, maybe you've got a way back into this. But oh, here we go. They're going to go on Pikachu, but you got to be careful. Otherwise, Pikachu can get something done here. They are going to CC lock him, but he will manage to get out by the grace of that Shallow Grave. And there we go. Dive in. Oh, Murray will actually find the shatter there onto Pikachu. Funnick though getting dragged off by that lasso, but that's going to be it. And this may actually be the pick that M19 needed. Nyx has that time lapse available, so he has plenty to work with. And that Lincoln Sphere, though, was just popped, so he needs to run away right now. Silenced up as well, so he cannot time lapse. But he will be okay. Hey, we got to win here. That fight, tiny little win. Tiny win, but it's enough. It's a start, and that's what they need. So, and there's that, you know, call to say, hey, check this, farm this, get some items. And Anji just don't really seem to be too concerned about it. So taking a look. Net worth massively dominated by the Magnus and the Terrorblade, both of them being the only members of either team above 10,000. Though again, Weaver and Lycan can get some done. Oh, that's a big pick actually. I missed that completely. As Nyx does manage to get the solo kill onto Yoki. So that's, again, something. Just every little bit. As soon as this Weaver can get Diffusal Blade, that ramps up drastically. That's a bunch of agility going. That's a bunch of... I mean, the mana burn is useful against the Night Stalker and the Dazzle. pretty helpful against Magnus because Magnus is definitely a spellcaster, but Magnus also is kind of just that frontline body, especially with his. It's not even a frontline body build. That's just I'm gonna right click you because I can build Echo Saber, Shadow Blade, Blink Dagger. That's disrespect, quite frankly, in my opinion. I'm sure other people would say differently, but that feels like a very slap happy build. Let's call it that. So. Funnick working on a Yules, trying to help his team out here. Earthshaker, he's got the blank, so he can at least do, blink, Echo Slam, etc. But got a bit of a ways to go here. Muriel is working on a Null and Veil of Discord. I like the decision there. Try and just provide some backup because they know they need to fight now. They have no options to go into those those extension items of the. Hand of Midas. I don't know why I forgot that name all of a sudden, but we're going to see Darkness in here. ILTW in a bit of trouble. Pikachu just going to walk right through him, and they're just going to slap him. He's not even going to worry about anything else. Oh, there's the lasso right there, and that should be there's the RP, just because, and he's dead. 2 minutes now where we probably won't expect to see them attack or press the attack too hard.
Dire's bottom
We're good to
tower
go.
is
Going to see
under
them start
attack.
pushing top. Bottom tower is getting pushed
Radiant's
in
top
there
tower is under attack.
by Misha's slow push, split push, but here we go. May see a fight on this high ground as they take the tier 2 and look to push. Sodoi taking that for another chunk of change.
Dire's bottom
So,
tower
Funnick?
is under attack.
He's going to do a little bit, but Sodoi going to pop that Metamorphosis. Oh, Misha going to stun him up, but they are going to dust, and Misha is going to just blink away and be fine. There's the fortification, but will it be enough is the question. I believe the answer is no. That tier 3 just gets shredded by the Hurricane Pike Scotty of Sodoi. He actually doesn't even go for the ranged. He goes right for the melees. Says, no, I want that meat off them bones. And he's just going to take that out, and Nyx is going to do his best to try and clear things out just a bit. But, again, just pop a little bit, walk out, start taking down these shrines, and really shrinking the map for M19. M19 going to really feel the burn now. So Sodoi gonna go bot, D-push, farm, just terrible things. So TB, he has that, excuse me, Black King bar queued up. Should have enough gold for that momentarily. We do see an attempted rotation up here from M19. Nyx, though, will he find anything? Chuvash just gonna teleport out, and No Fear is hanging out right on this tier 2 tower, so he's fine. And more emote spam. Your Darkness popped once again. Popping it practically on cooldown here just to really kind of keep M19 scared, it looks like. So, M19 grouped up mid. I think they know that there's going to be a push coming soon as Sodoi takes down this last outer remnant of hope, almost. He just burns that sucker down, and they push in. They've got, bottom lane looks like it's going to be the place to be as they have that totally pushed in. Sodoi's going to send his clone army mid and get some things cooking there. 14 seconds until Metamorphosis. Expect to see that be the timer for the Terror Blade.
Radiant's
5
middle
seconds
tower
and counting.
is under attack.
And while this is going on, we do have that pressure mid from the clones. And there we go. Right on time. Sodoi just going to start slapping away at that. BKB is completed for him as well, so expect to see that pop from him this week. Oh, actually, he's in a bit of trouble here. But again, what are you going to do? You're going to take him all the way down. He just sunders you back up to full health and then just slap you once and you're dead. Congratulations, kid. Go home. And now he's going to BKB up, be massive and I mean, that's terrifying. He's bigger because of Metamorphosis than the 10-second BKB just makes him huge. So just run away, please. Sodoi burning this bottom tier 3. Gonna see the lasso there onto Weaver. And does he? No, he actually gets stunned through all of that. Cannot time lapse back. Actually, we're still even on cooldown, so it didn't even matter. Pikachu gonna skewer back in, RP, and that is going to be it. GG, well played is called. Sodoi gonna go godlike with that triple kill, and they're gonna finish some more racks just so. Congratulations to Anji going up 1-0 in a 29-26 29 minutes, 26-second victory, 20-6 in their favor. So very well played coming out from them. And I think that my Antline audio player of the game is going to be Sadoy, and it's a sort of a toss up between him and Night Stalkers. Night Stalker and No Fear. No Fear made some great plays early, but Sadoy played it smart, played it super well, and then snowballed out of nowhere for that 10-0-8 ending.
Yeah, it seemed like they just kind of put Sadoy in the driver's seat to just kind of win. Nothing was particularly flashy from any of the players. Like, it wasn't like No Fear did anything insane. It wasn't like Sadoy, played, Terrorblade any differently than you would expect a Terrorblade to be played. It was just kind of clean.
There was that Scotty acceleration.
He won a massive team fight beforehand and then won another one.
Yeah, like I said, it was that okay, he can just kind of go the standard acceleration route, or he can really just put the hammer down and slaughter M19, which he did. He really just kind of burned right through that. And congratulations to Anji. Again, we talked about that 4 Protect 1 and did very well with that. And I applaud them. And M19 is going to have to get more push going earlier if they want to go for a push draft again, or they need to find some way, to shut down that hard carry, because Weaver got punished in the mid game too much again during that acceleration ramp that we talked about earlier, and couldn't keep up. Although Weaver, quite frankly, can't keep up with Terrorblade late game anyways. Weaver being that mid game powerhouse that she can be. Anyways, that's it for me. I need to go. Unfortunately, I don't get to stick around for the rest of it. However, Dragon Drop will be tagging in, so it was a pleasure. I hope I get to do this more often.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. So, guys, this is Blood in the Streets, the inaugural Blood in the Streets Dota 2 Championship, brought to you guys by FirstBlood.io and Antline Audio. I almost said Antline Gaming. I'm not sure why. Antline Audio. We will be back in just a few minutes with a caster changeover and Game 2 between M19 and Anji.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's Mod Mic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
Dire team ban.
Ooh, and with that sound
Radiant
effect, we
team
are
back.
back. Welcome everybody back to Blood in the Streets. I'm the Source, and joining me is now Drag and Drop Dota. We've made a caster change out. This event is brought to you guys by FirstBlood.io and Antlion Audio. And you're back today, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just had a little bit of a schedule mix-up, so I was still casting another series, so couldn't join Moving Target for game number 1, unfortunately. But I did catch the end of the last game, and it was doing a pretty good job, and so did Angie, from what I saw. Sadoi, well, that game was brought to us by Terrorblade, I guess. It's the most succinct way to put that.
It kind of felt like just pick Terrorblade and just kill everything that stood in front of you.
Yeah, it works out like that sometimes. I don't have stats in front of me right now. Can't really. I could probably go to that Dota and look it up, but that would involve me staying silent for 2 minutes as I try to figure out that interface. But yeah, normally how Terrorblade's games go these days is you pick Terrorblade, you either farm well in lane or you get shut down. In which case you just go into the jungle and you accelerate regardless, and then you win the game. Because you're just such a good hero that fits into many timing windows. It's with the Metamorphosis, you can join your team rather early, once you have just like 1 or 2 basic set items, like Aquila, Dragonlance, and still do a ridiculous amount of damage, and then you scale so well into the later parts of the game, even if you have heroes against you that are technically decent counters, like with the Earthshaker, normally you'd say, alright, bunch of illusions, Echo Slam, gonna do quite some work, but it's more often than not, it's not enough if your Terrorblade is like 5 or 6k ahead. So, M19 had some issues dealing with that in the last game, from what I saw.
Yeah, so we are into our next draft, a first pick Night Stalker. Gee gosh, never could have expected it, but Angie played it pretty well in the last game. They got some early things rolling with that. Let Sadoi kind of chill on his own while the rest of M19 was busy kind of trying to deal with what Night Stalker was up to.
Yeah, Night Stalker, pretty decent first pick, I think, in this day and age. You can run him as a 3, you can most likely run him as a 4 position, and it's one of these heroes where you know exactly what's coming, but then the question becomes, can you stop it, right? Night Stalker generally doesn't have too many issues getting his early levels, and once you hit like level 3, level 4 during the first nighttime, you can already do quite a few things with that, and yeah, this would be one of the ways to try and deal with his Terrorblade. That's where you have to start, try and shut him down early, when he's still sort of vulnerable, try and play around his long Metamorphosis cooldown as much as you can. And the thing is, you just can't let up, because Night Stalker doesn't scale particularly well into the later parts of the game when like these defensive items come out against the silence and what have you. So yeah, you're always going to have the vision to look forward to with the axe and gem, so that's always going to be useful. But it might just not be enough if you don't have the advantage with the rest of your team, if you don't have the damage and the teamfight prowess to actually show off with. But yeah, M19 looks like they want to focus a little bit more on the early game now with the Crystal Maiden added on top of that. Night Stalker pretty good in his own right. At a CM, well, he has mana for days, even with the nerf to the Hunter in the night, so they're setting themselves up for success in the early game once again.
Yeah, a lot of free pick potential.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. NG though, well, they also get themselves a good foundation though. Disruptor, Sand King. See these heroes a lot these days in the European scene. There's a lot of teamfight coming out of that, obviously. Would be too surprised to see a Dark Seer now as well, added on top of that. Okay, they actually banned it out, so never mind. Even though they had the first pick coming into this, it would have been like a very nice hero to combo that up with. Just have the vacuum into Barrel Strike, into Static Storm, held together by the kinetic field.
Dire team ban.
But yeah, I mean, it's another one of these things where you know exactly what's coming. You might not necessarily know whether it's an offlane Sand King or a 4-position Sand King, even though the latter is much more likely these days. But once again, the question is, can you stop it? Right? Can you fight into that? And it's going to come down to like positioning, the ward vision as well, to make sure that you find the right angle to engage into these fights. Make sure you can get the silence off from the Night Stalker on the right target. before the engagement
5
really
seconds
starts.
remaining.
So Magnus ban, healthy fear of that from the last game.
Reserve time.
I wouldn't say Magnus was super impactful, but I think it just added to their ability to just continue to be aggressive. They could just speed up and go in there and bring everybody down, especially with the Night Stalker.
Yeah, and it's also I would imagine one of the reasons why Terrorblade got so much farm so quickly. Having that empower on the Terrorblade just makes sure they can clear camps that much faster. And yeah, it makes heroes like Juggernaut, who don't necessarily farm as fast, or even Troll Warlord, makes them much quicker. But it's even better on heroes that are generally fast in their own right and farming the jungle camps to begin with. So, which a Terrorblade is with these illusions. So yeah, Magnus ban makes a lot of sense here, especially considering that you already have a lot of team fights to contend with.
Dire
So
team pick.
don't really add ERP on top of that if you can help it. So, question is whether they want to go now. TA also banned. Still plenty of mid laners left in the pool. They're also looking for an off laner,
10
presumably.
seconds remaining.
But I would imagine they pick up at least one core now.
5 seconds remaining.
In terms of cores, I guess Terrorblade could go back to that if they wanted to.
Reserve time.
Jug, Troll, also still on the field. What is the Oyster, really? Definitely taking some time to think about it, though, because this is the point in the draft where you also have to try and figure out what the other team is going for, which, in this case, once again, pretty clear they're looking for some early game. But there's plenty of heroes that can help facilitate. So you want to think about like what you can pick that is good against what M19 or what type of heroes they are likely to pick.
I think you can safely they're going for something with an early game tilt to it after how little the Lycan was able to do in the last game. And okay,
Radiant
still
team pick.
I don't think that really shows what they're up to yet.
No, not necessarily. Nyx Assassin, another one of these pretty strong heroes in this day and age. Out the offlane position more often than not, if you just really want that level 6 as soon as possible, then you start looking for kills. And Crystal Maiden, of course, being a prime target. Very easy gank for the Nyx Assassin. Night Stalker, not so much. But if you can keep track of him, that's enough intelligence gained already. It's like one of the Nyx Assassin's major roles to just try and scout out where M19 is at. Get a kill if you can. Maybe they won't even go back to Invoker or something like that for the Sunstrike long-range artillery. Once that's gonna be the Queen of Pain out of the middle lane. So same idea. Have another hero that can follow up on any sort of Nyx Assassin initiation really quickly with a blink, and then blow the target up. So NJ kind of covering their bases right now with a lot of pickup, a lot of team fights.
5 seconds
Coming up from pretty much all of these heroes, actually. So the only thing they're really missing right now is some pretty solid push.
Reserve time.
Yeah, pretty well rounded. Where do you think this puts M19 now that they know what their mid matchup is going to be? They're really only waiting to see what is essentially another core / the push, and they lean on Alina.
Yeah. Pretty good matchup against the Queen of Pain. You don't always get close enough for the Shadow Strike to really come out as often. From the Queen of Pain, you have your own better nuke as well to push out the lane and secure CS. So that should be alright as a mid matchup. But Lina will run into issues eventually with the Nyx Assassin because she's an intelligence hero. Nyx Assassin mana, but will do quite a lot of work in the late game here. It's not going to max it out first, I don't think.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
once again, M19, there's going to be a point where they just start fizzling out, especially if Angie pick up a very hard carry that scales well into the late game. Once again, Terrorblade comes to mind. Wouldn't see too many issues with that this game. Other heroes would be like Spectre, perhaps. Very tanky, very hard to deal with. But then again, it's a melee hero up against a Razor, always a bit questionable. But yeah, anything like that, and Angie are set really.
Radiant team pick.
So N19 needs something really fast-paced right now to round that out as their 3 position, I guess.
What do you think of
Caps.
the anti-mage ban? I don't really think that Anji
10
would have
seconds
gone that
remaining.
direction.
It's decent actually,
5
this game,
seconds
because
remaining.
it's not a lot of lockdown, and what lockdown there is, he can Manta out of.
Reserve
Like the
time.
Crystal Main Frostbite is pretty good until he
10
gets a
seconds
Manta.
remaining.
Same for the Night Stalker Silence reader, but both of that is being counted. So at that
5
point, the only real
seconds
hard
remaining.
lockdown that you have is from the Lina with the Light Strike Array, and that's far from a reliable stun in most
Dire
circumstances. And
team pick.
Earthshake is, though, yeah. Still don't think that Anji would have actually gotten an Anti-Mage, even if they had the chance, but I don't disagree with the ban. And the Lycan, well, I was talking about how they needed push earlier, right? So, that's it. Lycan now in the hands of Anji this time around. Doesn't go as late, but it's one of these heroes that if you win one of these team fights, if you do get 1 or 2 pickoffs, you can easily transition that into towers straight off the bat.
So would you say you favor Anji's comp a little bit more? I like it a bit more. I think
Yeah.
it's well rounded enough that they're not going to run into too many issues, and just after the way they were playing, aggressive early game and just not giving up unnecessary kills, I think that they have a bit of an advantage here.
Yeah. Yeah, I would concur. Like their lineup is much easier to execute, and that's what it comes down to. Like I can definitely see M19's lineup make some headway, especially with Lycan being a melee hero up against the Razors. It's always one of these things that you have to look out for. Lycan, one of the better heroes to deal with that because you can just pop ulti and run away to break the link. So it's so I don't think they're too worried about it. But it's gonna be a lot on the Night Stalker as well as the Earthshaker last pick to actually make stuff happen as early as they can to try and keep Anji away from farm, because if they get going on this Queen of Pain, if they get going on this Lycan, if they can find these pickoffs with a quick level 6 on an Nyx Assassin and turn this into towers, then yeah, and my team might not actually have the time to farm up themselves. Because you have a Razor who needs to be ahead ideally, who needs to have good number of items to be effective. And similar for the leader, really. It's definitely in a core position. You want your Bloodstone, you want your Yule Scepter, Lincoln Sphere perhaps. So you need a couple of items to be really effective and safe in what you do.
30 seconds to battle.
So yeah, M19 versus Anji. We'll see how this ends up working out in this game number 2. Upper bracket round once, even if the M19 lose this one. They'll drop down to lower bracket and are not out of the tournament just yet. This is Build Out in the Streets, brought to you by FirstBlood.io. And of course, also sponsors DX Racer and Endline Audio. My name is Dragon Drop,
The battle begins.
and no crazy shenanigans happening just yet.
Is a great conductor.
2-for-2 rune exchange, and of course the fissure block here from Phonic. It's gonna get another one off if he wants to, and that'll secure his level 2 at the very least. Because Creeper will pretty much meet at his tower. Mid lane, we've got some dual lane action going on. No Fear helping out against Misha, who's just... Not sure I agree with this, but then again, what else are you gonna do on a Night Stalker? Like, especially if you go boots first, you kind of have to try and be annoying with that, walk people down. Kind of miss the time when Night Stalkers picked up Iron Talon instead, and then use that to just farm up the jungle in the first couple of minutes, and then get a pretty reliable level 4 by the time the first nighttime hits. As it stands right now, Pikachu, you gotta be careful, dude. You don't have a Blink Dagger, so dropping very low, but so is Nyx, no fear. On the Nyx Assassin, which is actually quite funny how that works out.
Better to burn out than fade away.
Not sure that deny was necessary. Misha got 2 hits in. Could have definitely survived that, but hey, this way, not losing out on too much experience, and you can TB straight back in with full health, full mana, so good efficiency play there for coming out from M19. Looking at these other lanes, Phonic, of course, as I said, level 2. if left to his own devices here, is pretty decent in the solo lane up against Lycan. But of course, Chuvash on a Disruptor, throwing out the odd Thunder Strike, gonna try and help zone him out. But Misha, this is a point where the Night Stalker can also come in. He found his own level 2, went for the Hunter in the night, pretty standard. But if Chuvash, especially if he overextends, gets visual blocks or something, and run down by the Night Stalker, it's potentially devastating. Middle lane, okay, Lina. On the wrong side of the river here, caught with a stun from Nofi, a couple of right clicks will finish him off, and that's the first blood.io. Going towards Pikachu. And yeah. It's just a straight up overextension there across to the other side, Nofi with a wraparound. Now he even found himself a haste rune, so we can see the bounty rune on the other side. A lot of good things happening. Meanwhile up top, alright, I missed that, but yeah, it's actually a good rotation there from the Crystal Maiden. Realizes that she is indeed down bottom with Nofi now taking over, but Yoku already going into the jungle on the Sand King with a level 1 Sandstorm, which is painfully slow, but much more reliable farm than trying to contest a Razor as a melee hero. So our Crystal Maiden finding other things to do together with Misha. Get the kill up top on a Disruptor, and also putting on pressure on his and try and shut down Sadoi's farm. So far, of course, it has yet to kick in, and they can get another kill like this. This would be amazing, but Kinetic Field keeps them away this time. But this is one of these lanes that a Disruptor can't really deal with without help. He's great against solo offlaners, but when it comes to tri lanes, he's just less than mediocre, even. Absolute garbage in that position, unless he has some serious help to really make use of this kinetic field. And he's placing them in the right spot. Misha kind of isolated, but now beautiful visual block as well. So Doi has to walk all the way around. Misha goes for the body blocks into the Frostbite. Follow-up control here. They will have another slow available too, so Doi will drop his life, so yeah. Sticking around for a little bit too long. Great play there for Phonic. Finding the right angle for the vision, and now this top lane is won by M19. Definitely necessary, considering how, especially how this middle lane is going. Pikachu, especially with that kill, but even without that, just dominating in terms of CS. 25 and 14 to 9 and 1, and just seems to be the standard for Queens of Pains in this tournament here. I think yesterday ProDota Kaiser played Queen of Pain twice, and was absolutely amazing in both games. So I guess Pikachu, continuing that tradition of this particular hero. Top lane might still see some more action here. It's Funny contesting the stack. I don't know if he made the wraparound here, but well, he's also on level 3. There's only so much he can do, especially without Spike Carapace, so they're looking for him. But Pikachu with the wraparound, they already brought down a Crystal Maiden. Nofi will give his own life for the cause. But if they can get Phonic here on top, they can. And the glyphs back onto Misha. Great play for Chuvash. He will go into the trees. He will not be able to fly out because of this mana issue. But he's trying to eat his way through the trees actually with his last tango, and will be successful. So Misha actually able to walk his way out of there. Quite heads up play, but still, good wraparound once again from Anji, responding to this kind of aggression. Stabilizes the top lane. If they can keep this momentum going, then I can definitely see them coming out strong and start pulling the trigger here, especially with Yoku getting the stronger farm. He does have enough money for the Tranquils at this point, but still ways away from Blink Dagger. But once he has it up and running, that's the latest point where Anji should probably look for more and more kills. That as well as the next assassin hitting level 6, of course, but a little bit harder to accomplish since No Fear is in that roaming position. Doesn't really want to soak too much from the lanes. So. And he has no jungle farming utility, so that level 6 probably not come anytime soon unless they can get some extra kills. He finds a stun on Misha, secures the bounty rune, and that'll be that. Misha, well, he's still battling up against the door. Chuvash also made rotation. Level 3 now, so Glimpse, Kinetic Field, Thunderstrike, all up and running. And catches the Crystal Maiden. Out of mana, he already used the Frostbite. Nice vision though. Separating the Wicked here. The Glimpse onto Phonic here as Pikachu makes a wraparound, finishes off the Crystal Maiden. Phonic blocked by his own fissure as a result. So that's some irony for you. Oh man. Anji. It's one step ahead here, just bringing in the numbers advantage to these kind of fights and these skirmishes. Even without Senking really being actively involved. I mean, the flip side of all of this is that ILTW in the bottom lane. He's getting complete free farm. And it really shows in terms of net worth. The only reason the Queen of Pain is higher is, of course, Pikachu. With the more last hits and the 3 kills under his belt. But other than that, the Razor's on a good path to get where he needs to go. The problem is, he might not have the easiest time actually making use of that top lane. Oh god, funny, he dies again. That is not ideal. Just caught the tail end of that. Mid lane Pikachu, okay, he's actually dropped super low, doesn't have another blink. Just run down by Misha, what the hell is happening? Alright, these kind of things, of course, they buy yourself more time. And create some more space for the Lina to try and catch up, so that's great. And if the Lina also gets huge, then you can work together well with the Razor, because him alone can kind of have a hard time. He wants to be the one swooping in at the end of the fight and cleaning up later. Cleaning up at the end of it, getting the kills then. But he's not really the guy that you look to just run in head first, necessarily, and get instant kills. That's where Lina comes in, right? You have that nuke potential to work with here. If, she gets her basic amount of items. Even found himself a region rune now, TP back to base. That was a bit of a panic move. He could have just easily TP to the tier 1 tower and not waste as much time, but I didn't necessarily know what else was lurking in that fog. Misha taking over his mid lane in the meantime, getting his own levels. First nighttime has ended, and I think Anji, yeah, they've gone through it pretty successfully. Grabbing a bunch of kills on their own. Not something that you usually expect to see when you have a Night Stalker on the field, but I'm not sure about this timing here from the smoke. Uriel and Misha, it's no nighttime, no level 6 yet, or Night Stalker either, so you can get yourself that buff up. Well, top lane, well, Funnick gets glimpsed back, not too much damage here, control comes through the door, so you can actually right click. Razor, didn't see how he died down bottom. I guess it was no fear? I don't even know. The ultimate's hit on either of these 2 heroes on the bottom. But yeah, Muriel now finally breaks the smoke, gets the frostbite onto Sadoi. Don't think they can get a good fissure block this time around, so a bit of extra time for Anji to respond. There it is, there's a fissure block. Can then Field also keeps him in though. There's still a path inside the trees, Sadoi is actually fine for now, until Phonic drops the Echo Slam, so that'll be the trade-off. 1 for 1, Phonic will die to Pikachu's rotation. Can they get more is the question. Chuvash does have another glimpse in a second, but it chooses to try and go for the kinetic field play instead. Probably the right decision here. They didn't quite know whether the shrine was still up, so you don't necessarily want to go high ground here and maintain vision for a glimpse.
Invisibility.
But yeah. Fortunately for M19, they don't get up any more kills. Yeah, these are the kind of plays that they need to do. Try and slow down Sadoi as much as you can. I mean, if it wasn't for his 2 deaths, he would have probably been at his armlet already, and then it's the point where he can already start joining team fights. Especially with the build that he went. Howl and Feral Impulse, maxing both of those out. It's the more 7.0 build, essentially. Sometimes you see Lycans still go back for the Wolves. And just keep the 1 point up into Howl, which this is not a game for, because Howl, of course, as you might know, is has double the effectiveness at nighttime. And guess what? You have a Night Stalker up against you who wants to make it nighttime even more than it normally is. So, in that sense, that Lycan also nice little counter. I didn't talk about it in the draft, but it is pretty strong. I mean, it gives 400 health at max level to heroes at nighttime. And that's gonna come out every single time Night Stalker just comes in, as they're looking to try and make something happen up top here. Misha just at level 6, so Darkness is available for them to make use of. No Echo Slam. Crystal Maiden level 4, so only the 1 point up in the Frostbite. Once again, it's gonna come down to a Fissure Block, but I don't know that Sadoi is actually gonna expose himself to this. He does see Phonic, he also sees Muriel. You can probably figure that something's happening. Meanwhile, mid though, that's probably the more interesting engagement coming forward. Sanking with the wraparound already revealed himself, so a bit of an unfortunate pause timing there for Angie, of course, with Sadoi being the one disconnected. But yeah, Nyx. The question is, I don't think he can get the Light Strike array off. Max level Burst Strike is decent range, so Yuku will be able to walk in, get the Burst Strike off. Pikachu is ready with a Blink Scream and might not even need the Sonic Wave, honestly. So my expert analysis is Nyx dies, in the top lane nothing happens, unless N19 just dive in deep. At which points Pikachu might just be able to rotate out. He does have a Town Portal scroll, but if they go for the scale mid, he's not going to have a lot of mana to work with. So yeah. Sometimes in these kind of situations, you also see teams just have an unspoken agreement to just cease all hostilities and make sure you reset and just so you're not affected by the pause. But I don't imagine this being the case in here. Just too juicy of a kill. There it is. Burst Strike, follow up, a couple of right clicks. Throws out the ult, but Pikachu will be just fine with that. Yeah, top lane, nothing happens, so. Anji, know exactly what N19 is up to. Darkness comes out now, he's flying, he sees Chuvage, and that's an interesting place to log into. They do find him, drops a Static Storm though to try and turn us around. Stoy with the ultimate, making his way through to Phonics, starting to drop low. Burst Strike here to cancel his Enchant Totem. So he's dead, and Misha, next one on the list, if they can try and actually get the damage in. Well, Stoy can just dive him, I guess. That ultimate. Silence, the slow is not really going to matter, but actually, as I say that, his ultimate times out, so he doesn't have the movement speed to work with anymore. At the same time, Nyx Assassin actually dies down bottom, which was quite interesting. I think LTW was man-moding up on him. And only 1 point up in the Spike Carapace. Don't really have enough time to just defend yourself and TP out from the back of that or something, so. Razor still doing his best to keep N19 in the game.
This'll come in handy.
And keep getting that farm. He went for the drums build. I like that very much. Allows him to join his team very early and try and put on more pressure on these towers, especially now that the tier 1 bottom has been claimed. It's kind of a prime opportunity for them to keep going to other lanes, especially at nighttime. But Anji, I'm gonna let that sit on them. Nofi is level 7 at this point, so got plenty of space in the bottom lane. He does see Misha, but Misha sees him too with a central wall being dropped down. The silence to follow. The fissure comes through. Not enough burst damage to bring him down. Now the epicenter being channeled with the blink dagger here, but M19 already got themselves out of there. Didn't chase too much. As a result, Yoku just put that on cooldown for no gain. And that should mean that M19 will get this tower for free now. I say for free, Pikachu is down bottom, he's trying to split bush, but of course he's not the best tower hitter. No fear. His ultimate just ending, can't quite get in range for a stun. Vision down bottom. Yoko ready for a burst strike. Pikachu mid rotation up top as well with a blink in. Echo Slam, not really effective in terms of damage here. Phonic should end up falling with Sadoi also coming in with his own ultimate. 1-on-1 trade here now. Oh god, the Frostbite though! They find a Queen of Pain with all the burst damage in the world. Nyx coming through at just the right time, but a Static Storm on 2. Well, Let's Rock still lands. Nyx trying to do what he can on the outside, so. Oh, the courier! No! Oh no! What have you done, Angie? What have you done? He was delivering the full armlet there for Sadoi. Oh, what a bloody fight. And yeah, that Static Storm was pretty good, but I think it also needed to hit the Lina. If it did that, then Well,
Dire's
Angie
structures
would have
are
definitely won that
fortified.
fight as it stands. Lena's now at the top of the network chart. She picked up quite a few of the, quite a bit of gold
Dire's
with
top
that
tower
kill
is
on the Queen of Pain. It's the one he got, I think so. No, he got Yoku. Well, he still found a lot of gold all of a sudden. Which now means he's rather close to his Bloodstone. Once you have that, you kind of not run out of mana, so you can spend your spells to just farm more camps without really having to worry. So it's gonna make you accelerate even further. It's also most of the Pikachu is kind of slowed down. He still found the kills, but the staff really hurt him. He's caught with a Frostbite and then the Laguna Blade right to the face. He's not quite ready to deal with that just yet, despite the Veil of Discord. And at this point, we probably wants to say, alright, gonna be less cocky and just gonna take safer fights when I can, just with the ultimate, but other than that, just focus on farming, get that Orchid up and running. Oh, Yield Scepter, actually. Yeah, that's 100% the way to go, actually, in this game. Considering the silence of Night Stalker. As well as the Frostbite, really two things that just are absolutely devastating, especially once they are maxed out. But even right now, Frostbite, 1.5 seconds, you can manage that, but at the nighttime silence, on top of that, just 5 seconds here, even at level 1. It's definitely a death sentence for Queen of Pain, so now. Well, gonna look to pop Phonic again. Smoke into a Blink Burst Strike. Yeah. Not much else to say here. Perfectly executed wraparound gank.
Money to burn.
And, well, Phonic the one tanking it. The rest of M19 still pressuring top, trying to force out some sort of reaction.
Radiant structures are
Sadoy, he's the one putting a pressure on bottom tier 1 at the same time, though. He's not really committing for it here. Instead, gonna go for the fight up top, but the silence here, that's what I was talking about. The death sentence for Queen of Pain. It's dying immediately. The epicenter, though, this time it lands onto Yoku, so they finish up the 1-for-1 trade. Razor for Queen of Pain. Now they just need to try and finish up Lisha, and they will be able to with no fear. It's a great interception. I also would have probably been able to run away, considering that there was no more mana left on the Disruptor for a Glimpse play. So Queen of Pain dying definitely hurts. Not sure if they saw the Night Stalk in that area. Probably not, else he wouldn't have gone in like that. So next time he'll know better, and this is getting much harder for M19 to accomplish once the Yield Scepter is up and running. It's not all that far away, right? You already have almost enough money for the Void Stone, then all you need is about 1,000 gold more.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Failing that, M19 think they have the advantage in this bottom lane, but it's not nighttime here, don't have darkness. They have a lot of control though, but Burst Strike on the 3 isn't enough to keep Snick safe. Follow up stun you Pikachu with the nukes. But beautiful, the oh god, the Acro Slam, the control is enough to bring Pikachu down. Misha dropping low as well. Yoku will finish him off, but now LTW. Just that smacks the damage. Yoku blocked by the fissure here more or less. He can go to try and will use it, but way too much damage here from that 19. Just going from target to target. Almost looked like a good fight, but Queen of Pain couldn't even stand around there because Muriel dropped that freezing field, forcing him to go out, and then just once again the extra space for the Earthshaker to just walk up. Funny, he doesn't even have a Blink Dagger. Yeah, he sold his Quelling Blade now to get that going after that last fight, and so next time it's gonna get even worse. N19 catch a huge break, and Nyx, well, that TP will be cancelled. Just to be annoying here, but no fear, well, you can't stick around here. Spike Carapace is there to get the counter stun on both heroes. Chuvash, oh god. Gotta be careful. Next time still available, Pikachu with the wraparound. Sador also coming through. TP out on LTW attempted here, but they will still chop him down thanks to the Glimpse Muriel. Side casualty as they try and catch up to Phonic at the same time. He's throwing out Fissures, throwing out Enchant Totems. But Yoku with another Blink Burst Strike. Classic case of N19, just winning a team fight. You're high on that victory right now, and don't realize that without these spells available and with Angie actually finding the right angle into the fight, they can just as easily be dispatched one by one. No fantasy, they did try and get out, but they TP in plain sight up against the Nyx assassin. These are the kind of blunders that you probably only make once in a game like this. Now Quinn of Pain, back on track, has to use Scepter now. Only has to have it flown out, and that makes it much harder for M19 to kill her, unless they lead off with the Blink Echo or something like that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Still
attack.
not in the worst position. It is nighttime again now, thanks to the darkness, and it'll transition into proper nighttime. Actually, does it? I think 20 minutes is nighttime.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah.
Worthy tribute.
So
Dire's
M19
middle tower is under attack.
still, once again, they're in a good position. Razor's fairly fun. Went for the Blade Man instead of the Sanjin Yasha we generally see in these heroes, so
Dire's middle tower.
actually really love this item decision. Considering the Disrupt the Static Storm, the Sanking Epicenter, even the Queen of Pain ultimate, if Pikachu is not careful, he might just deal too much damage to himself. That speaking of damage here, Echo Slam, follow-up control from Nyx, and the nukes are there.
That wasn't too bright.
It's one way they can still kill him, and they can do that. Power to them. I think it was an Invis rune setup from Phonic, so a bit unfortunate for Pikachu that he didn't scout that one out. Slowing it down so much though. He was top of the net worth chart earlier. Now he's more than 2k gold behind his Lina, or his mid lane opponent Lina. Was Ult of their own on top of Bloodstone with 16 charges.
Radiant's bottom tower
Almost
is
all
under attack.
towers now down, or out of tier towers for NG. And even
Dire's
defending
middle
that
tower
bottom
is
tier
under
2,
attack.
Star is just not pushing as strongly right now. They find the interception on Tamisha, so that's a nice little pickup, especially if they can perhaps turn this into more. But LTW, well, it looks pretty damn scary with the Blade Mail and the Static Link. Still does Nyx here. Sador is trying to run him down, but well, Shrine, Yield Scepter keeping him alive. Now also Pikachu with the ultimate, finally finishes him off. Won't respawn in a moment here, but beautiful ultimate again. Immediately cancelled by the Yield Scepter, but still enough damage to finish off Sador after his BKB ended. Now Chuva got the wrong side of the fissure here. They're still fighting though, Yoku. Beautiful burst strike here as the last six of the epicenter come through now. All of a sudden, ILTW. Last man standing was fighting until Nyx comes through with a short Bloodstone, Bloodstone Death Time, able to TP back to the shrine. Clean up another kill for himself on to Queen of Pain once again. Pikachu is not liking how this game develops for himself. He was like 6-2 like a while ago, and now is 8-6. Very little item progression to speak of.
Is a great conductor.
That's where Lina really comes in despite the death. Still at 30 Bloodstone charges, so that's a decent amount. And also looking for a BKB of their own, and at that point, NG actually running into troubles. The team fight is reliant on having the team AoE control from the Disruptor and Sanking. And even the damage from Nyx Assassin, especially up against Lina, the mana burn is still on level 1, but a decent nuke up against an intelligence hero like the Lina. But yeah, once Lina's BKB, what do you really do? The only thing that you have left is Lycan running at her, but Sadoi, he's 4 levels behind too. And especially going BKB first after the armor, you don't really have the damage output even to dispatch of the Lina quickly before Nyx is able to just throw the spells and kill half of your team in the process. So MG feel forced to find something. Oh, that's a good catch if they can find it here. They kind of stack the stuns though. As a result, Nyx able to walk away. Well, this is Sanky dead, and most likely Nofi as well on Nyx Assassin. Very bold play. Going for the kill on the Lina, and well, as a result, they have to scramble. They have to get themselves out of that. Chuvash, he's super slow. but you should be able to waddle his tail out of there. N19 is setting themselves up for a really good timing push. Once again, Lena, once the BKB is running, in about 1,600 gold. Actually, what? Did you buy something else now? I might just spent a lot of gold. Am I stupid? Hang on, what's the curry I have? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Anyway, once Nyx gets his next item, and once Razor gets his next item, that's going to be the Aghanim Scepter, which is completed now, I believe, with the Blade of Alacrity on the courier. Yeah, that's the kind of pushing component that we're looking for, this really heavy tower damage. So this means now if they win a team battle and dies out of the base, they're going to be able to even go high ground here if Angie are not lose too many heroes. Might lose the right heroes, one like on no fear. He goes in, finds initiation, but BKB comes out, it was actually completed onto Nyx. Somehow got confused by that, so he's running him down. Meanwhile, in the back though, they lose their Earthshaker here, so that's a big control factor down. Nyx, okay. Maybe I underestimated the damage that Senoy can do. So Nyx actually pretty much dead. He has the Bloods on the knife himself inside the Static Storm. Kind of amazed that he's been able to do that. Juvash will still die, but so does the Crystal Maiden inside to stand some miles to W, dropping so low too, and this time Pikachu even survives. 4 for 2 trade in the end. Another burst strike here as Misha shows his face, needs to get another nuke off and he can, so maybe I spoke too soon. Sorry for the caster's curse, Angie, but now Yoko, well, he'll get the revenge. Should be able to finish off the Night Stalker, and he is. Well, it was a good fight for Angie. Still decent enough at 19, especially getting that Queen of Pain kill, just keeping her slow, just preventing her from building up towards that Orchid. I don't know if you even still go Orchid this now. Because Lena already has the BKB, already has the heals, so it's not gonna be effective against her. Getting the silence for pretty much everyone else, or particularly these supports, is gonna be super useful.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Like if you blink in, if you can get the Orchid on Phonic, especially. It's preventing Echo Snap, preventing fissures, and all this chain lockdown that he has to offer. I think that's still very much worth it, and he's a hero that doesn't necessarily want to build these defensive items, but he has a heal scepter queued up for himself because he realizes that being silenced is a very real possibility. But now, okay, should be a bit of freebie, especially with Misha flying about. Poor Chavash, he only wanted to D-ward. What 19 want to do now? Kind of grouped up to go straight into Roche, okay. Well, there's no Static Storm. Epicenter will be back. Store is also charging up, so yeah. Angie know that this was happening and they were getting ready to start a fight, and M19 can't really take it fast enough. Disruptor would have been able to join into that fight. So instead they're looking to angle for that last remaining tier 2, but even that might be a bit dangerous. Actually no, nighttime is gonna come in. And you're gonna have to make a decision. Let this tier 2 go, or try and find a fight. Maybe find a pickoff here. If they can find Uriel to begin with, this would be a nice start. No fear, well, running into that. His ultimate expires though, so they now see him. BKB comes through, a couple of spells. Nyx pops a BKB, so doesn't get much by Carapace. 2 years down already for Angie. Middle back, Phonic doesn't apply here. Sador brings him down. That Sonic Wave, decent enough. And now Misha trying to finish him off. Yoku comes through with the Epicenter, gets stunned up outside of the Sandstorm, and Nyx on the high ground, just laying in the damage. But it's not gonna be enough to really bring anyone down with the defensive utilities they have. We'll find the sacking after all. It's only the supports, only supporting Casty for Angie. Pikachu and Sidori, this time around, both of them get away. So, slight advantage here for them in this particular fight. The question is, what do they want to do with this money that they've got, Sidori? Looking for an Assault Cuirass, so... Makes a lot of sense, especially against the minus armor from the Razor. All the physical damage coming in from him, as well as Lena really at this point. Next 30 minutes in, already level 23. Did go for this more right-click oriented build with a plus 50 damage and a plus 150 attack range, so he's a force to be reckoned with if he gets to just stand up there on the high ground and just fire like a machine gun.
Flesh sustains, gold remains.
This game definitely far from over for either side. Alright. I think Roshan should still be on the docket for both teams to just keep an eye out for. Don't think either team can really take it unless they sneak it. Right? M19 had the slightly better lineup with the Axe Razor. Then again, Lycan can also kind of solo Roche even if he wants to. All he needs is time. Once again, M19 also needs time to finish Roche, so if both teams can keep reading the map correctly, then they should figure out when the other team is angling for Roche, and then should get themselves in position to defend it. Which means Roshan will not fall unless it's a team fight preceding it. Right. Pikachu will get himself a tier 2. Yes, your can finish now. So with the way these last couple of fights have went, able to finish up enough gold for that. Top lane, LTW will trade for the tier 2. Nothing that Angie can really do about it. In fact, what they can do though is prevent M19 from going high ground themselves, as they're already being poked down here. Yeah, it's just a classic move. Poke high ground, force CP reactions back, and then rotate out, farm up the other side jungle, and they're making the beeline straight for Roche, are they? No fear, leading the charge. This could be very sneaky indeed. Does M19 realize? They see some of these heroes walking by. They also caught a glimpse thanks to this Absorb Water in the middle lane. Alright, if Angie can sneak this Roche, this would be such a huge victory for them, but Smoke Up is already coming in, no fear. He's in this. He will scout out what's happening here, gets dusted up, silenced, and the fight breaks out. A beautiful double stun here in the middle of that. In the backlines though, Epicenter plus a Static Storm will finish up 1, will finish up 2, despite the Blade Mail. Not enough to really finish off anyone off on the side of Angie, but enough to bring them down low. Queen of Pain, that was a mistake. Needed to use yourself and then try and think out a thing, but then again, Lena being close enough, like, would have been able to set up for Light Strike Array on the back of that defensive ult, so don't think it mattered either way. Pikachu dying there, actually huge deal, because that means that Angie will lose to Roche now. Yoku, oh, what are you still doing there? He was trying to angle for a steal on that, but gets picked off again. M19 with that now very much in favor to continue winning this game, I guess. Still too early to call, but the D-Rune still for a couple seconds left on Lena. This tier 3 already down quite low, and if they can get more of these 3 kills in the middle of that, I'm not even going to look for it. Instead, they just finish up the tier 3, much more important. Especially if they can also finish up the melee racks, but they have to buy back here. No fear with the first stun, follow up there from Yoki onto 2. Fischl tries to interrupt this a little bit. Nyx now pops his BKB. He also has the Aegis, mind you, so he doesn't really care too much about anything. Especially with another waste of Static Storm, but glimpse back onto Muriel. Well, he doesn't have too much to defend himself with, I guess. Forced after cooldown for 5 seconds, so relies on his teammate to help him out, and they do. Beautiful spike Carapace though, Sodoi coming through, finished up the 1 kill, now chops away at Phonic, doesn't he go step to keep himself alive. LTW, they're starting to steal the damage from Sodoi, he has to walk away. Pikachu going in, finish off the 1 kill, but at what cost? Nyx didn't have a Light Strike Array. Now the Epicenter, no Blade Mail this time around to bring everyone low. And he's just juking and jiving and trying to find the right angle. Trying to dodge his spells. Like Misha, he's flying away. Trying to still get stunned up. No fear with the follow-up. The silence onto Pikachu. They will lose the Senking again. It's a dieback here, but that was on the back of the committal from the Lena. Stuns herself on the Spike Carapace, and now Well, Aegis. Not quite enough mana for a stun there from Nyx, so just use him up from Pikachu, try and bait some more time. Another BKB comes out, he actually turns around, gets a kill onto one. Nyx. Just making the most out of everything right now, this entire game. Coming back after the disastrous mid lane. Not so much disastrous, but like, he lost the lane. But then coming back now, sitting on the top of the net worth chart for so long with a pretty decent margin too, still. It's all down to these kind of plays, just realizing that, hey, if you can't get out, you can maybe get a kill or two still in return. Even though there's 3 heroes around you. Very costly defense for Anji. They still lost the tier 3 as well, so the shrines are up for the taking. As a result, the next Roshan will be a little bit easier for N19. And this is the point where Anji depend more and more on being the ones to actually initiate. So far it's been M19 who have started these fights on their terms. 2-man stuns here and there. Immediately blowing somebody up with the Laguna Blade, and it's gonna be Anji have to do that. Blink Burst Strike onto at least Alina +1 at the very least. Follow with the Static Storm here before the BKB can come out. Even then, without Axe. Juvash is building into it though, so it's potentially game-changing. One of these items, you know. It's preventing the BKB, preventing the Euros from the lane, and making sure that if you can get the drop on her, you actually are guaranteed the kill. Whereas now you can just hope to come. Oh, there it is. Comboed up with the stuns, right clicks, ultimate, actually 4-staffed away, but not quite out of range. So that's a great start. BKB used though, and the Fissure still blocks him off. Pikachu with a blink across, and M19 already out of here. So that's ultimately wasted 10-second charge. Anji were hoping to find more there, but well, still got one of the most important targets. Leaning now down to 8 Blossom charges for the first time in this game, I believe. And they're gonna get the tier 2 on top of that, most likely. M19, they'll not buy back for tier 2. If they go high ground though, I think they can hold long enough with the Fissure and the AoE spam to hold out for the Lina to come back. But look at this wraparound here. Anji go for the bottom instead. Vector region is down, so still way too ballsy though. Pikachu, he's pretty tanky at this point, level 25 himself, 7% spell life steal, so if he doesn't get bursted down, all he needs to do is use a couple of spells to then get himself back up and sustain himself health point wise, but don't want to take a risk, especially not if you're the one holding the gem.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Right, M19 on the high ground. There was a ward from Anji here on the top, so they know that they are there. They can actually just... yeah, they can just go and do some damage. Not sure what M19 is doing, they need to be here defending. Still even pops the ultimate for the next bit of damage, and they're just coming in now. No Fear actually keeps the Razor away for a little bit. The tower is already dead, the Glyph's forced out as Rex almost falls. LTW, decent link. Pikachu with the BKB will be able to get the blink out. A lot of chaos being created here. Funix is actually going to die to Yoko No Fear in the back. Just being pulled apart here. They might get this kill now. Like Carapace will make this hard, but well, perhaps space created if they can get a little bit of extra damage down here in the bottom. But Pikachu, he was thinking about it. You can definitely tell, but it's just a little bit too hard. Once again, you can't afford it with the gem. Without it, maybe you make that argument. All right. Getting that Milorax that we brought down so low might have been worth my life, but as it stands, I'll just let this go for now, which means that this Milorax, it will regenerate very slowly, but does it really matter? Like, at this point, Zador is doing so much building damage with the Desolator and the Assault Cuirass that it doesn't matter if the Milorax is 1 health point or full health points. I mean, you saw how long it took them to bring it that low. It was like, what, 2-3 swipes? So, any more than that, or with the glyph being down, it's gonna be guaranteed kill, regardless of how low it's been brought beforehand. So, this is not about chip damage anymore, that's what I'm saying. It's all gonna come down to these fights. Sand King looking for an axe himself, Chubash. Halfway there. Next Assassin's still looking for a blink after the Yield Scepter. So Angie still has some room to grow, of course. Queen of Pain can also turn monster into a right clicker with just upgrading that Orchid into a Bloodthorn. Maybe they'll go for Scythe instead. I mean, he's perhaps a bit indecisive. He's sitting at 4.5k gold. I think he'd have something queued up at the very least, but just waiting to see what he needs. Oh, he does. Pops the forward, so pops the ultimate just to run away at this point. Oh yeah. Angie, yeah. Angie are very particular about what kind of fights they want to take. The problem is at this point, oh, still no Axe Scepter on Night Stalker actually. You can't get away without it now with Hunter the Night, so you get the Flying Vision regardless. And okay, that TP will actually be cancelled on Nyx Assassin, so they will finish that kill off.
Like a blue heart glacier.
That's pretty good. Now Chubash, yeah. It still comes out. Nyx not caught by the kinetic fields, so he might actually die himself now with the Shiva slowing him down further. Yeah, seems so easy. That's what I'm saying, right? If M19, they have more than enough damage to finish off these kills if they can get the right opportunity. And Angie just gave them great opening to even go for those tracks. No backdoor region for some reason. So that's the main Rex going down and go straight for tier 3 bottom. And Angie have to fight, but not gonna have to stop there for another 30 seconds. 10 seconds left on the Nyx. He does the buyback, we don't really want to use it. Pikachu is split pushing, but he needs to be the one back home and fighting. If Sadori was there, could maybe traded it. Then is Burst Strike coming through. Even damage off the Nyx. Sadori now walking in. 1, 2. Needs another right click, and the Yield Scepter will prevent that. 5 heroes around him as well. Beautiful follow-up stun though. Epicenter just at the right time. Yoku saving the day, and now it's just cleanup time. Nightstar, oh good, Echo Slam actually. Tried to create some chaos, but it just doesn't have enough damage solo, and that's what he had to do there. Angie, great defense out of their behind still. But they have lost the first racks of the game. Bottom lane also exposed now. They ideally want to get something else on the back of that too. And the prime target would be Roshan, which is just respawned. Or perhaps the bottom lane, but I guess they could go mid spot. Some possibilities. Sador popping his ultimate early just to catch up. Make use of the fact that there's still 4 heroes down, and maybe try and... I guess no false biotics here. 15 seconds on most of these heroes. We'll still be able to counteract here. There's no glyph. Well, actually it just came off. Oh, and if they can get it's W here though, and they can. Easy game. That's a full set of racks down. Do you feel confident enough to transfer the mid though with the lean up back? I guess so. Like if Razor didn't die there, Angie would have definitely left, but looks like yeah, okay, they're not taking too many chances. They realize that it's not the Razor that they have to worry about, it's still Lina, who now has a freaking Daedalus as well. Nyx, an absolute right click monster. And Roshan, Nyx on the docket. Not dying too quickly without the ultimate though, and once again we've seen this before. 19 coming through for Roche defense. Can it catch anybody here? Okay, maybe not. Pikachu jumps in. They're almost able to blow down Mural, and they will. With Sador catching up, and now Nyx. That's an interesting man fight here that Lycan will actually lose. How often do you see that? And now Pikachu. Defensive uses himself, needs to get a couple spells off. At the very least, the blink to get out, wait at least some of these BKBs. Rest of Angie is still alive. Buyback unliking it. We don't want to take this fight. The Epicenter once again doing so much work, finishing off the Razor. That's a dieback too. Phonic gives Rest of Angie control, but it's not enough. They're lacking the damage. Phonic back in. Echo Slam kind of whiffing. Lina trying to do what he can, but there's only so many people that you can right click at once. Deny comes out, so it's a full 5-man wipe from Angie. They make this work. Yoku just coming in at the right time. Static Storms are scaling enough chaos, forcing out these BKBs, and Queen of Pain. Pikachu able to get that blink out, waiting out these BKBs, and then come back in again. So, okay, 2 more Biotics forced out. Oh, I like this too. Fake back. They realize that they can still take a fight, even if Crystal Maiden also comes back soon. No Razor, no Echo Slam. Those are the big ones, and Stoy in the front. Glyph will delay this slightly.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But without Echo Slam, you don't have that instant lockdown after you blinked in. And now, oh god. Forced out very, very quickly. Pikachu with the PKPs! Almost still dies here! Yunsa will dodge some of these last right clicks. Speaking of Yunsa, one on Stoy and pops his own BKB. Now the burst strike. 1, 2, 3! I'm on a killing spree. Not quite, but Stoy is definitely feeling like it anyway. And that's it. GG. Well played, Angie. It looked pretty bad for them for the longest time, but M19, well, is unable to win all of these team fights. Great execution there from Angie to make this happen. And the damage out from Son Sedoy just showing us that Lycan is forced to be reckoned with when it comes to physical damage. Did he call GG, or am I just stupid? No, they didn't. Might as well, though. No Lina still. LTW is trying to fight, but unable to really make any headway. And there it is now, finally. As they're diving the fountain. Come on, guys. That's not necessary. They do it anyway. Whew. Quite the action in this one. 39-53, the final scoreline.
It took almost the entire game for Anji to just really get themselves going. That was an impressive comeback.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you look at the graphs, for the longest time, M19 was actually the ones ahead in terms of both XP and net worth. And then there was this one high ground defense that was really the turnaround point, I think, that after they after M19 got the mid-racks and then transferred to the bottom, and then kind of pretty much lost everybody. And that just gave Angie so much momentum. Maybe just rattling M19 a little bit too much as well. It's also one of these effects of these kind of team fights that these kind of team fights can have on you just mentally. And Angie, continuing to find good team fights after that. Also BKB's running low. Yeah, quite impressive. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, especially with how much pressure they managed to put on Sedoy, how little Pikachu could kind of do towards that early mid-game. With that, who is going to be your Entline Audio MVP of this series?
The series, I still want to say Sedoy because he did a lot of carrying this game. He just had to with the physical damage here to counter out the BKBs, and of course also factoring in his performance in the last game. So for the series, I will probably give it to him. For this game, though, it's kind of hard to call. But I would err towards Yoku for the MVP of this particular game, or the Endline Audio player of the game.
Yeah, managing to get in the back line for those epicenters, I think saved them multiple times, just getting rid of Funnick and getting rid of Nyx.
Oh yeah. Like, definitely more than once, more than twice. Like 3 or 4 instances where Yoku just didn't see him at the beginning of the fight. He was kind of biding his time, sitting on the outskirts, just waiting for not leading with the epicenter as a lot of Senkings do, but just waiting for the right opportunity to finish up the kills on these crucial targets like Nyx, like ILTW. So yeah, that was very well played by him. But of course the entire Evangie as well, working together to make that comeback happen and win the series 2-0 as a result.
Yeah, and with that 2-0, Anji will be moving on to play up against Singularity, we will have M19 dropping to the lower bracket. They'll be up against Crescendo. And our last match in the first round will be, I believe, tomorrow. That'll be Danish Bears versus Gambit. Winner of that will play up against ProDota. So we still have plenty of matches, guys. Any shout-outs you want to do before we close things down?
Yeah, shout out to Moving Target, who was helping us out with some scheduling issues, just hopping in for game number 1. And of course, also shout out to the sponsors, DX Racer and Endline Audio, and of course, Hillspot.io.
All right. Well,
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. We will catch you later. Make sure you guys check out firstblood.io. And we'll be back for more Blood in the Streets Dota 2 Championship tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys, and we'll see you later.